It started with one of Hitler's craziest ideas: to construct 4,000 kilometers of defenses along the entire coastline of mainland Europe. 76 years later, local governments, private individuals, and companies are trying to give a second life to sections of the infamous Atlantic Wall. In Finistère, Brittany, this half-buried bunker now houses a museum featuring the voices of those who lived under German occupation during World War II.
Depuis que l'armée allemande occupe la région, ce n'est pas compliqué. Tout ce qui n'est pas interdit est obligatoire. L'obligation de se soumettre aux réquisitions, aux expropriations.
Dans notre baraquement, tous les copains m'appellent le vieux, parce que je suis le seul à être marié et à avoir des enfants.
Ce matin, le silence est revenu. En passant par un chemin au bord de l'eau, j'aperçois le corps d'un marin allemand étendu sur la grève. Je m'approche et suis troublée par ce spectacle. L'une de ses jambes a été presque arrachée par une explosion.
Behind the museum is AURELIEN COQUIL. This history enthusiast has crisscrossed Brittany since childhood, collecting objects and eyewitness accounts. On becoming an adult, he wanted to share his collection with as many people as possible. And to do so, he found the perfect location.
This is the command post of the biggest artillery battery in Finistère. This post controlled the firing of 4 huge cannons with a range of 30 kilometers, and that was 30 kilometers all around. It basically prevented any British or American ships from forcing an entry into the port of Brest.
It feels like you're here for real. It's part of our history, that of Brest and the rest of Brittany, with all the bunkers you see on the beaches. Kids need to know where these all came from. They need to know what happened before. We're at peace today, fine. But their great-great-great-grandparents went through a whole lot of difficult things.
This needs to stay here for the sake of history. It was less than 100 years ago, so we need to remember it, so we can stop it from ever happening again.
It's not only humans who are taking over these concrete monsters. At Fréhel, still in Brittany, nature has reclaimed its rights. The defenses that once protected the coast are now home to a group of bats.
We're several meters underground, which means the temperature is always quite low. It's very temperate, between 10 to 12 degrees Celsius, which allows the bats to hibernate in good conditions, because the winters can be quite harsh here. We have to be as quiet as possible so as not to wake them, and not use any lighting for too long so as not to disturb them. Just long enough for a couple of photos for the scientific monitoring of the present populations.
Although this species of bat has always inhabited Cap Fréhel, the widespread presence of humans has forced it out of its natural habitat. It has therefore found refuge in these abandoned bunkers.
In fact, the species wouldn't have survived without the bunkers. If we had to construct edifices like these, it would cost a fortune. There are lots of them all along the coast, but only a few with the exact specifications to provide shelter to a large number of bats. We've identified these, and the populations inhabiting them are now the subjects of specific scientific study and noise control actions to preserve them.
In Lorient, this monumental former U-boat base is one of the most impressive constructions of the Atlantic Wall. In the late 1990s, the City Hall decided to redevelop the site by installing just next door the Cité de la Voile Sailing Museum. Since then, ocean racing stables have taken over the docking bays designed for the German submarines. These vast spaces are perfectly adapted to the nautical industry.
The tallest mast we've built is 54 meters long lying down and weighs 5.5 tons. So to make masts of such lengths and to handle them, we can only do this at the base. It's surprising, but a little spooky to think that we work in a place that once had a very different purpose. The reassignment of the buildings was specifically designed for our activities. And despite the cold, we're able to produce some amazing things in here.
This project thumbs its nose at Nazism, like all the other projects that are reusing the bunkers. One method among others to avoid suffering from the traumas of history, but to look the past right in the eye and create something much grander.